Hi, this is Matthew Robert Payne. You may be new to my channel. This may be the first time that you have tuned into my channel. I pray that you're well and that you enjoy this. So the title of this video is called Surviving the AntiChrist. Around this time, there's hundreds, if not thousands, or even more than thousands of videos guessing who the Antichrist is. And I just watched a video where they're assuming that Jared Kushner could be the Antichrist because he's dealing with the peace treaty. I've watched compelling sort of evidence that says Barack Obama may head up and become the leader of the United Nations, and in that way become the leader of the world. We've seen advertising on Facebook that said they want to institute the New World Order and the One World Leader within 12 years in America. One thing is for sure, they've wanted to institute a world leader for many years. The thing that holds them back, from bringing in a one world leader is Jesus Christ himself and God the Father. We all understand that the Antichrist is going to appear, and he's going to be on the earth, and Revelation says that. But many people might not know this verse in Revelation, and you may be interested. Revelation 12:12. Therefore, rejoice, O heavens, and you who dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you, having great wrath, because he knows that his time is short. Now, when the dragon saw that he'd been cast to the earth, he persecuted the woman who gave birth to the male child. The woman who gave birth to the male child is the church. The male child was Jesus. But the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly to the wilderness, to her place, where she is nourished for time and times and a half a time from the presence of the serpent. So the serpent spewed water out of his mouth like a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away in the flood. But the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed the flood which the dragon had spewed out of his mouth. And the dragon was enraged with the woman, and he went to make war with the rest of her offspring, who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So here we see in verse 14, but the woman was given the wings of a great eagle, 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, where she is nourished for times and a half. Okay, so there's certain members of the Christian faith that flee into a wilderness. Woman was given 2 wings like an eagle. That's an airplane. 2,000 years ago, John couldn't identify an airplane, but eagles fly up high, and they have 2 wings. And John could see a vision of people catching an airplane and flying to safety. Now, it's called the wilderness, and the people of Israel survived in the wilderness. What happened in the wilderness with people of Israel? They're supernaturally protected. God's presence traveled with them. They had all their food and all their water supplied. Their clothes never wore out, and there was no sickness among them. So I remember having a dream a few months ago of going into the wilderness, going into a community of believers, which was a safe zone. And I was sort of panicked because I take medication for my heart and I take medication for a mental illness. I was panicked that I didn't have my medication, and I might go a little crazy, or my heart might play up in the new place. But we've got the reference of the wilderness in the Old Testament, that there were no sick among them. So I'm sure that Jesus, through his love and mercy, could heal those that are sick and look after them. So is this true? I've got a book called Optimistic Visions of Revelation, and that shares in the book a little about these communities of people that are going to be set up in the wilderness. And for years before the Antichrist arises, for years before the Antichrist come, I personally believe prophets like myself are going to be speaking and encouraging people to move to certain locations. In America, there'll be certain cities and certain states in America. I feel Canada is a country. I feel Australia is a country. I feel South Korea is a country. So all of these destinations, even cities and states in America, people would be getting on airplanes. It may require moving to one of these safe places, may require you leaving your house and your possessions. You may be in a stage where you move, where money is still getting exchanged, and someone might buy your house and you have the money, and that would be good. When the Christian communities are established, and all the Christians that are going to move to them, who are open to the last days prophets, once they move, there'll come a time where the Antichrist will get rid of money. At that time, the Christian communities will have their own resources and their own possessions, and they'll have houses and infrastructure to be able to survive, I believe. So just like Sodom, Lot and his wife were rescued, Lot and his family were rescued, then Sodom was destroyed. Noah and his wife and children were saved, and then destruction came. The Israelites moved out of Egypt, and destruction progressively came, and so too God is going to have a place of refuge for the people who are truly listening to God. Of course, there's going to be a large number of people who don't listen to the last days prophets, who don't move, and 95% of Americans don't currently tithe 10% of their income. Those 95% have more faith in their own money than they have faith in God. You know, that majority of Christians, whether they like it or not, are serving mammon, and money and possessions is more important to them than God's work. And these are sort of things that have got to turn around. So there's certain Christians who just don't fully trust God. And so there's going to be big numbers of Christians who don't move and who don't sell their house and move their possessions and grab a couple of suitcases and catch an aeroplane to their new place. So many Christians don't have faith in God and don't trust God with their finances right now when it comes to giving up everything they own, their car, their house, their possessions. That'll be too great for them, and they won't do it. They won't trust. But I have no fear of the Antichrist. I have no fear of him. There's many people who are making videos and they instill fear in people and have people fear the Antichrist. At the same time, the Antichrist is here. I personally believe that out of Revelation 11, it mentions 2 witnesses, 2 prophets, and I believe those prophets are Enoch and Elijah, and I believe they're going to have their ministry on earth, and there's going to be millions of followers. I believe the 144,000 mentioned in Revelation actually is just a figurative number, and I believe the passionate revivalists that are going to be sweeping the world, saving the world, and bringing the last harvest, I believe that they number into the millions. And so there's going to be a lot of people getting saved, and there's going to be individual places that are going to be designated. I call them sanctuary cities. It's amazing that, you know, there's even a liberal agenda making sanctuary cities these days, that people that cities that accept foreigners and illegals. But there's going to be places of refuge, which I call sanctuary cities, established, in countries established where the beast just won't get. The Antichrist may send forces against these townships, against these cities, these places of refuge, and they'll be fought by angels, and angels will supernaturally protect these places and and the inhabitants of these places, just like the Israelites had the presence of God that travelled with them by day and by night. So that's just my take. I don't believe personally that you've got to stock up food and you've got to have two years worth of food and all sorts of stuff that people suggest. I believe God is able to direct his people and help his people survive. I believe there'll be supernatural provision, supernatural things happening with all of this. But I encourage you not to have fear of the Antichrist, like some videos and some people instill into you. So for a more comprehensive look at some of these things in Revelation, the book of Revelation, I've got a book called Optimistic Visions of Revelation, and I'll put the tag in the description tag down there. I'll put a link to that book. It's only 99 cents, and I encourage you to buy it and become informed with what I believe, what I personally believe I've seen in visions and seen of the future. This video is to encourage you that certain prophets know what's going to go on and how God is going to provide, and certain people who are open to listening and open to being led can survive the incoming Antichrist. So I pray that this has encouraged you. I hope that you can go and purchase that book. Remember, I only make 30 cents per copy of that book. And so in no way was I making this short video just to promote my book. It's just a resource. I don't have the PDF of the actual book that I could send you for free. I don't have a copy of the manuscript. So that's the only way you can get it is to purchase on Kindle. You don't have to have a Kindle machine to buy a book on Kindle. You can download the Kindle program onto your smartphone, computer, PC, iPad, and then download the Kindle book. I pray that this has encouraged you. It's good to have one Christian teacher who has no fear of the Antichrist. God bless.